Part 1. Induction. Find a comfortable position, take a slow breath in, and let it out. You are not in a rush. The destination will come. For now, you're exactly where you need to be. With every breath, your mind becomes a little more open, a little more receptive. You are not trying to learn anything right now. You are simply allowing what you already know to settle into place. You are a communicator. You are a teacher. You are someone who helps people move from where they are to where they want to be. And every time you create a video, that is exactly what you are doing. Today, we're going to walk through the blueprint, slowly, clearly, and with intention, so that it becomes as natural to you as breathing. Part 2. The hook. Every great video begins with a hook. The hook has one job and one job only: to make the right person stop and say, "This is for me." Before you write a single word of your script, ask yourself one question. Who am I speaking to, and what is the one thing they already feel that I can name out loud? There are 7 types of hooks, and you can combine them, layer them, throw them like a boxing combination. One punch sets up the next. The first is the pattern interrupt. This is the clap in a quiet library. It snaps the brain out of autopilot. It signals, stop what you are doing. This matters. Example, if you have anything to do with project management, you need to hear this. The pattern interrupt does not explain. It does not sell. It simply says, pay attention. Now. The second is the question hook. A great question speaks directly to a struggle the viewer is already living. It makes them feel seen before you have offered a single thing. Example, have you been trying to break into project management, but you keep getting told you do not have enough experience? The right person hears that question and thinks, yes, that is exactly me. The third is the bold statement hook. Open with a strong, provocative claim that demands a reaction. It creates instant polarity. People are either nodding or intrigued. Example, the project management industry is broken. A bold statement hooks with conviction. It says, I have a point of view and you are going to want to hear it. The fourth is the story hook. Lead with a moment your audience has lived, not a summary, a moment. Something specific, human and real. Example, 3 years ago, I could not get a single callback. I had the certification. I had the theory. Nobody would give me a chance. The story hook creates emotional proximity. Before you have said what you sell, they already feel like they know you. The fifth is the statistic hook. A surprising number creates instant credibility and curiosity. It signals that you have done the work and that what you are about to say is backed by evidence. Example, 73% of aspiring project managers never land their first role. Here is why. The statistic hook earns authority in one sentence. The sixth is the paradox hook. This is your most powerful weapon. A paradox gives language to a truth your audience has felt deeply but could never articulate. Example, to get experience, you need to get hired. But to get hired, you need experience. Nobody talks about how unfair that is. I do. When the right person hears a paradox that matches their life, they feel something shift. They think, this person understands me. That is the moment trust is born. The seventh is the empathy hook. Lead with pure validation. Make the viewer feel seen before you have asked for anything. Example, if you have been feeling stuck and invisible in your career, this is for you. The empathy hook works because it does not try to impress. It simply says, I see you now. The power of layering. The strongest hooks combine 2 types, like a boxing combination. A pattern interrupt breaks their guard. A paradox lands clean. One sets up the other. Neither alone is as powerful as the 2 together. Think of it as throwing objects at the viewer, but not random objects. You are picking up things they have already been bruised by and saying, I know this hurt you, and I know how to fix it. Before you start your next video, ask yourself, which two hook types am I going to combine? What is the first punch and what is the second? Part 3. Pain agitation. Once the hook has made them stop, the pain agitation makes them stay. The hook found the bruise. Pain agitation presses on it, not to be cruel, but to make the relief of your solution feel that much greater when it finally arrives. Pain agitation does 3 things. 1. It expands the wound. It goes deeper into the frustration they already carry. 2. It makes the pain feel urgent. This is not just uncomfortable. This is costing them something. 3. It makes them feel seen, so deeply seen that they trust you before you have offered a single thing. The secret of great pain agitation is specificity. You are not describing a category of pain. You are describing the exact moment, the precise feeling that your viewer has already lived. Not, you may be struggling to get hired, but you have the certification. You have the theory. You know what needs to be done. But when you sit in that interview room, you cannot tell them how you have actually done it, because you have not. And they can tell. That is the bruise. That is the specific spot. Press there. Remember, your audience is not unintelligent. They are not lazy. They are educated but stranded. Heavy on theory, empty on practice. There is a gap between knowing what to do and knowing how to do it in a real corporate environment. Your job in this section is to name that gap and make them feel its weight. Part 4. Dream outcome. After the bruise, the relief, after the pain, the possibility. The dream outcome section paints the picture of where your viewer wants to be, not in vague terms, in the specific sensory, emotional detail of a life transformed. Ask yourself, what does the day after success look like for this person? What are they no longer worried about? What do they now say with confidence that they could never say before? What doors are now open that were closed? The dream outcome is not about your program. It is about them. It is about the version of themselves they have been quietly hoping was possible. Your job here is to make that version real, to describe it so vividly that they can feel it, and then to say, with quiet authority, this is possible, and I can show you the path. Part 5. Introduce the solution. Only now, after they feel the pain and after they have glimpsed the possibility, do you introduce who you are and what you have built. This is the moment where your credibility lands hardest because they already want what you are about to describe. Introduce yourself with specificity, not arrogance. Your years of experience, your real credentials, the thing you would change if you could go back. Then name what you have built. Make the mechanics simple. What happens in each session? What happens between sessions? What is the arc of the year? And then anchor the price. Not just the number, the value. What does this cost per session? What does it cost compared to what they are already spending on courses that sit unfinished? What does staying stuck cost them every single month? Part 6. Social proof. Social proof is not bragging, it is evidence. It says, this is not a theory. This has already worked. For people who were exactly where you are now, the strongest social proof is specific and transformation-focused, not I love the program. But I had applied to 37 jobs and heard nothing. 3 months after joining, I had 2 offers. Use real names when you can. Use real outcomes and let the voice of your former students say what you cannot say about yourself without sounding like you are selling. Part 7. Objection. Handling. Before a viewer will buy, they will have objections, not because they do not want the outcome, but because they are afraid. Your job here is to name those fears before they say them, to show that you already know what is holding them back. The 3 most common objections are time, money, and trust. Time. Acknowledge the reality of their schedule and then reframe the investment. 1 hour a week. That is less than 2% of your working hours. Money. Anchor to return on investment. What does a new job at a higher salary earn them in a month? The program pays for itself before the second session. Trust. This is the deepest objection. They have invested before and felt let down. They are not skeptical of you. They are protecting themselves. Address it directly. Show your proof. Give them a reason to trust the process, not just the promise. Part 8. Call to action. The call to action is not a request. It is an invitation to a decision they have already been building toward for the last several minutes. One clear action, no options, no confusion. Click the button, join the cohort, take the step. Add urgency if it is real. A start date, a limited number of spots, a closing window, but only if it is true. Because the viewer can feel the difference between authentic scarcity and manufactured pressure. And end with something that closes the loop you opened in the hook. Return to the image or the feeling or the paradox you began with. Let the video feel like a complete thought. Part 9. The full sequence. Rapid recall. Before I create any video, I move through 7 phases in sequence. Phase 1. The hook. I choose 2 hook types and layer them. The first stops them, the second makes them feel seen. I know my 7 types: pattern interrupt, question, bold statement, story, statistic, paradox, empathy. I throw them like a combination. Phase 2, pain agitation. I find the bruise, the specific, named, familiar pain my viewer is already carrying, and I press on it with compassion until they are actively looking for relief. Phase 3. Dream outcome. I paint the picture of the other side, not the program. The person they become. Vivid. Specific. Real. I make them feel the possibility before I offer the path. Phase 4. Introduce the solution. I step forward with earned authority. I name my credentials with specificity. I explain the mechanics simply. I anchor the price with context and return on investment. Phase 5. Social proof. I let my former students speak. Real names, real transformations, real language that sounds like a person, not a testimonial. Phase 6. Objection handling. I name the fears before they are spoken. Time, money, trust. I answer each one directly with honesty and reframing. Phase 7. Call to action. 1 clear action. 1 invitation. Close the loop. Make it easy to say yes. Part 10. Closing affirmation. I do not need to memorize these steps. I am internalizing them. Every video I create is built on this foundation. Every word I say is a deliberate choice. Every section serves the viewer, moving them from where they are to where they want to be. I think in hooks, I feel where the bruise is. I paint the possibility before I pitch the solution. I am not selling, I am guiding. And every time I record, I get a little more natural, a little more fluid, a little more instinctive. The framework is not a checklist I consult. It is the way I think. Take a breath. Let this settle. You are ready.